Here we go. I feel like I've had 3 Matts on the past like 6 weeks. It's just powerhouse.
Who's the third one?
Matt Choi, you, and Matt Worthington. Not sure yeah.
Okay.
So just crushing the Matts here in Austin.
Yeah, Matt. It's not Matt squared. It's Matt.
Thirded. Yeah.
Thirded.
We
I love it.
We got some athletic power, not some brain power in here.
Yes,
So,
yes. Math, no. Fitness, yes.
Yeah. Dude, I don't even know how to introduce you. I mean, you hold so many different titles, marathon runner, triathlete, ultra marathon runner, comedian. Like, you got so much going on, but dude, it's a pleasure to have you here.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I was fired up when you hit me up, and big fan of everything you're doing and the show and collective and this room.
Yeah.
Makes us look beautiful.
Yeah.
It's good to be here.
Shout out Media Pouch.
Yes,
They're doing it
100%.
right. Yeah. Well, the basis of this conversation is going to be you running across Texas, which, like, people hearing that, if someone lives in Texas, they know the size of it. Someone looks at a map, they're just like, that's a huge state.
Yeah.
But, like, just imagine, for the people listening to this, running across, I think it's the second biggest state. I think Alaska's a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
Right?
So to kind of put it into perspective here, we're running from El Paso to Galveston.
Mm-hmm.
It is closer to run from El Paso to Los Angeles
Really?
than it is to run from El Paso to Galveston.
Wow.
And then another perspective is the entire length of the state of California, from the northern tip all the way down the coast to Mexico, is the same length of the width of Texas.
That's incredible.
Yeah, so if you picture California as long as it is, that's how far it is to run across Texas.
Yeah. So October 1st, you're going to be tackling that,
Yep.
running across the state, that huge distance.
Yeah,
You served in the Army. First off, thank you for your service.
appreciate that.
And your whole mission behind this is giving back, raising awareness, but also raising money for veterans. Obviously, this is very near to your heart because you served in the military. So first off, why is that so important to you, not only to serve, but years later to give back and do a insane feat like this to prove to people, hey, I can do this, but also I'm going to give financially, I'm going to give attention to fellow veterans?
Yeah. So, the biggest thing for me was, like, I always, even when I was younger, like, you'd ask my mom, like I always had like the servant's heart. And like, I always, like, my love language is doing things for others. Like in Amanda and I's relationship, right? Like the man, but I love to cook. Like I love to cook every single night. I love to, like, I'll do the laundry. Like I will make the bed. Like I would do things like to take off of her plate. Like just having the servant's heart. And leading, into adulthood, joining the military, obviously, like, having that service, before I joined the military, like, I wanted to be in the medical field. My entire family's in the medical field, probably where the servant's heart came from.
Yeah.
Grandfather, doctor, grandmother, nurse, mom, nurse, everyone's in the medical field. So leading into the military, joining, and I joined the Iowa National Guard, the Army National Guard. So what they do is they serve 2 weeks in the summer and 1 week in a month. So for the first 5 years of my career, that's what I did. And turning, I think, like 24, 23, it was like when I got like my active duty job within the National Guard, where I wore the uniform every day. I worked Midwest HyrdroJug. I worked, goodness, chop that up. Sorry about that.
You're good.
Okay, Amanda. I worked Midwest HyrdroJug. I worked recruiting for a while, just wearing the uniform every day. But with that being said, the biggest thing is I never got to deploy. And, the biggest thing for me is, being an 18-year-old kid and going into the military, and we were in Afghanistan and Iraq at that time, it was 2014 when I joined. So we were on the latter half of that, but having that servant's heart to, like, I want to serve my country, and, whatever that looks like, right? But like, you join the military and you have a deployment on your plate. Like that's that's coming, what the end goal is. And serving my country through a deployment was always on my mind, and I never got that. So for me, it was like, I always had this feeling on my heart of, yes, I served for 9 years, but I never truly got to do what I signed up to do. And growing through the platform and growing as a creator and as an athlete over the last couple years, you know, I turned this page where I have this platform. And in 2022, I did my first charity run with the American flag for a veterans charity. And that feeling of carrying that flag and raising $8,000 that first year. And I was like, holy shit, like people care. Mm-hmm. And, you know, and then into the second year into, you know, the first idea was to just do the run across Texas. And then, you know, thinking back to the charities, and I'm like, okay, like we should do this for somebody. So for me, it's like, you know, because I didn't ever get that chance to deploy, now it's like, okay, what can I do to use my platform and this capability that I have of reaching hundreds of thousands of people to now do something for those that were able, who were able to deploy, who were able to make the ultimate sacrifice, who were, you know, who deployed and, you know, came home with issues, came home with PTSD, came home with, you know, battle scars that you can see and that you can't see. And, you know, so that was the biggest thing of, you know, turning this into that was, you know, maybe I was never meant to deploy. Maybe, you know, through the entire thing, I was meant to, you know, in all of God's plan that I fully believe in. Maybe I was meant to join the military, to know what it was like, to feel what it was like, to then get out and be just handed this platform, because this was never a plan. Mm-hmm. And to just be handed this platform. And then you know, it was like, okay, now figure out what you're going to do with it. And this is it. I figured it out.
Yeah, that's really powerful. And you can tell the passion behind it, just the way you speak, and obviously the cause you're doing it for.
Yeah.
And if people follow you, they know you're not going to shy away from a challenge. So
yeah.
Like that aspect of you is there, yeah. Whether it's fitness or running, like whatever, like you're going to stand up for a challenge. I remember a video you made, like talking to a doctor, like, hey, you shouldn't be doing these races. You're just like, nope, fuck it, I'm going to do it. So
yeah.
we know you're going to be doing some crazy stuff. You already done crazy races, but why run across Texas? You said It's been done before, but how did this idea come about?
Yeah, so, you know, I can't tell you how the idea came about. It was literally just one of those things. Like, I remember exactly where I was. I was actually sitting outside the gym at Squatch in my truck, and it was December. And I was recovering from a leg fracture that I did in September, and I hadn't been running, probably because I just had time to think. Mm-hmm. And I remember sitting in my truck, and I'm like, I should run across the state of Texas. I'm sure I saw something of like someone running across, I don't know, whatever. And I text my best friend Drew Darby, mm-hmm. and I said, I'm gonna run across Texas. I was like, I'm gonna be the first person to ever do this. Like no one's ever done this. And Drew texted me back. He's like, yeah, it's been done 4 times. And I'm like, shit. I'm like, well, I want to do it. So, long story short, like why Texas? You know, I was born in Iowa. My grandparents and my mom all moved down to work at the VA in Fayetteville, Arkansas. I grew up in Fayetteville, Arkansas. We moved back to Iowa. I graduated high school. I joined the military. The military sent me to Virginia for a year in 2021, and I never got to choose where I wanted to live. And so Austin was my very first adult choice of like, I want to live somewhere. When I got out of the military and I like made the choice to move here, I chose Austin because I'd been down here multiple times, and I didn't even know like what was going on behind the scenes, like with, you know, the influencer power that is here. And it's a fitness powerhouse. Like I just knew that it had nice weather and people trained all the time because it's what I'd seen. But the question behind why Texas is because Austin, everything I have now, I feel like Austin has given me. Mm-hmm. And Austin is within, like I have a love for Texas because I have never been so successful in my entire life. I've never been more happy in my entire life, which comes with, you know, in that time frame as well, like finding my faith and going back to church and all of that. And, you know, I recognize that, but as well as just Austin is the land of opportunity to me. And it gave me everything I could have ever wanted. And, you know, that's why choosing Texas was such a big thing for me, because I truly feel like this is my home. And I didn't know. I remember texting my mother when I first moved to Austin last year, and I told her that I didn't know that the emotion of truly loving where you lived was real until I moved to Austin, where you wake up and you truly have that. It gives me goosebumps. Like, that's how much I feel it. Like, where you wake up and you're like, I love my life and I love where I live. And I didn't know that that was even a emotion that we were capable of having until I moved here. So I'm so grateful for, you know, obviously everyone that is, you know, part of my platform and my journey, but I'm so grateful for Austin being the land of opportunity and connection and giving me what I have now. And now this is me giving back and promoting the state of Texas as well. Like, as crazy as that sounds, you know, putting eyes on Texas, putting eyes on Austin, putting eyes on what we're doing, because I fucking love this place.
That's amazing. Yeah, I echo that. Like, I'm not from Austin.
Yeah.
Moved here 2 years ago, and there's something in the water.
Yes.
The people.
Khalil, you know Khalil?
Yeah.
So Khalil was telling me, so Khalil owns Sun Life. Sun Life is acai smoothies. It's truly the greatest acai bowl I've ever had in my life, 100%. Khalil told me the other day, take this with a grain of salt, it's Khalil. I love you, Khalil, if you're listening for some reason. He said that there's two things why Austin is so prosperous. It's either, number one, they say it was built on crystals. Now you get this from Khalil. They say it was built on crystals, so like there's like crystals below Austin, and number two, Lady Bird Lake, which is actually not a lake, it's a river. The river that runs through Austin splits downtown, and it flushes all of the negative electrons and negativity because it's always moving, and it's always creating some type of energy flowing out of Austin. Yeah, that's what Khalil says.
It's a good theory.
And I'm kind of down bad for it. I'm like, yeah, dude. Like, I mean, if there was anything I could believe,
it's that.
And I also feel like Khalil could tell me anything, and I'd be like, yeah, dude, like you know your shit.
Right.
Like you've been through the shit. Whatever you're saying, you're like, yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So a lot of people just think about the feat of running across Texas. Many people, if they want to run a marathon, they're training for months, they're ramping up their running, recovery, maybe some lifting, nutrition's on track. What does the training look like to run across Texas? I know you run a lot, so already you have like the foundation built, but what are you doing to prepare in these months before October 1st when you actually put the shoes on? Yeah,
so the biggest thing is like, obviously, like you just said, I've had the base, and you know, for the listener, like, I've ran a 252 marathon. I've won every distance, the 50K to the 100. I've ran a 19-hour 100, which is a 10-something pace for 100 miles. I ran a 7:30 50 miler, which is a 9-minute pace for 50. So I have the base, but leading into the run across Texas, what we're doing, I'm working with Mike McKnight, who is known as the low carb runner, on Instagram, and he's the king of the 200-mile distance, is, you know, that's what they call him. And he's won, you know, all these 200s. He's the Triple Crown, which is, you know, Bigfoot and Tahoe and Cocodona 250, and he's set course records. He has FKTs that are 400 plus miles long.
Wow.
So there was only one person that was like, there's one guy there that I could go to. So I got with Mike, and you know, we sat down, and I love running doubles. I love running twice a day, especially in Austin, because, you know, if you're running for 4 hours in the morning, it gets hot very quick, obviously, as you know, and obviously thinking like, oh my God, running 4 hours just really sucks. But so we're running twice a day right now, and what we're doing is, you know, slowly, I would say like my base, like where I felt really good 2 months ago was like 80 miles a week. And when you put that into, you know, kind of terms here to the listener, like that's 10 miles a day, Monday through Friday, and then, you know, a 5 mile here and 25 on Saturday, right, as a long run. So like, it's not horrible, but that was like my base, like where we established like, hey, at 80 miles a week, like I feel good, I can rip 80 miles a week, and I was running 7 days a week at that time. And so getting with Mike, we decided like we needed a day off, a full day off. So we're taking Sundays off. We're running twice a day, and building from that base. Like now, I can run 100 miles in 6 days and feel good on Sunday.
Wow.
And then I'm right back to it on Monday. So now we've built up that base, and so right now I'm running anywhere from, let's say 100 to 100, and I might touch 130 this week, which I like. For example, I ran split between 2 runs. I ran 25 on Monday. I ran 20 yesterday, 20 today. I'll run 20 tomorrow. I'll do 30 on Friday as my long run. Drew Darby and I are going to film a YouTube video, and then I'll do like 10 to 20 on Saturday. Mm-hmm. But now these 20s are broken up into 2 runs. So like this morning I ran 15, and then this afternoon I'll run 10. Okay. Nope. This afternoon I'll run 5. See, like we said, math hard. And then this afternoon I'll run 5, which 5 to me is just is less than a 5K. Like it's easy. Like you just go out, you run. Yeah.
Walking the dog.
Yeah, and that's fine. So but in that process, to me anyways, running these doubles, it seems like a lot, right? But I think it's a lot less stress on the body, because I'm only out there running for 2 hours in the morning instead of doing all, like, it's only 5 more miles. Like, why don't you just run, but that extra 50 to 55 minutes at a slow pace, at like a 10 to an 11 minute pace, can tax the body. Mm-hmm. You're thinking about like getting dehydrated because it's getting so hot, running out of, not having enough fuel. When you start getting dehydrated and not having enough fuel on these longer runs, like that's when you start deteriorating the body. So it's like, how do we not deteriorate the body horribly and still be able to recover and be able to run later? So, so that's what we're doing is these double runs. I'm not sure what my peak week is going to look like yet. There was talks of 6 by 30 plus 20, which is 200. Yeah. So 6 by 30 would be Monday through Saturday 30, mm-hmm. and then a 20. Which fucking fires me up when I think about it until like probably day 3, and I'm like, this is brutal. Because right, like when you train a marathon, like for the listener, like you train a marathon, you're usually peaking at like 20 miles, right? Like a 20-mile long run with some speed work is going to usually be like your longest run of your marathon prep. But how do you? Like, I can't go out and run 40. Like I've ran, like a week, I'm saying, like I can't just every Saturday just go out and rip a 40 miler. Like that's just going to tax the body too much. So for us, it's like, how do we just slowly build those miles and build that base? Because there's something to having a base of being able to run 100 miles a week and being okay. That you have seen multiple times with these guys that have done these feats, that like it plays into, like, as much as it doesn't sound like it should, it does play into being able to run 30 to 40 to 50 miles a day. And yeah, so that was the long story long on the training block there.
That's good. Another aspect of the training is the nutrition. And something about you is, if people watch your videos, you're not like, hey, I'm going to crush this salad and drink my greens. Like, maybe you're doing... Yeah.
Is that why? I'm like, what you're a good time to open the Zen here. All right, let's chat about nutrition. Let me get a little nicotine on board as I just crush my 200 milligrams of caffeine.
You got all the caffeine. You got Zen, cigs, Coca-Cola. Like, people are looking at you like, what the hell? Like, this dude that's supposed to be like doing something that only a few people have done in the world, and you're feeding your body that kind of stuff. Like it looks bizarre. So let's hear about the nutrition. Yeah, for sure. So, and I'm not an influencer, but I really feel like I owe people like this is what I eat in a day. Yeah. And I just always promise myself I'd never do that because it's just so cliche. But, so the biggest thing with me, and just like, like to the listener that like sees this type of this stuff on my Instagram, I made a promise to like never shy away from who I was. And I grew up in the cornfields of Iowa, where we would meet on the east side of the square and we would fucking fight each other for fun and then be best friends right after, like we would walk down the road to,
Cindy's house because, mom knew Cindy and we knew that Cindy's husband kept beer in the fridge and we would just open the gate and go in the garage and take the beer, and we're like 17 years old. I mean, I'm talking like our town had, maybe not even 1,000 people in it. But you get caught and Cindy's going to call your mom, who's then going to call your grandpa, who also lives down the road, and he's going to come down, he's going to whoop your ass.
Yeah.
That's how I grew up. So, I was, sneaking beers at 17 and, doing dumb stuff. And then going into the military and, I hate to tell you, but, the military is probably one of the most unhealthy feats of the humankind you will ever see. Like we would wake up and rip 500 milligrams of caffeine and smoke a pack of cigs and not eat all day and, train for hours. That is the military. I don't care what anyone says. Like that is 95% of the military. That's what we live off of, nicotine and caffeine, 100%. So do I smoke cigs every single day? Absolutely not. Like I want to say I've probably had a cigarette 4 times this year. And, now Zens, like I'll rip a can a day. Like I love my Zens. And then, but at the same time, it's just like, I don't give all the access to my entire day. So, nutrition, right? Like let's talk about a normal day. So I'll wake up and this morning, I ran 15 miles. I'll come back home. I'll have some watermelon, mango, my recovery routine right now, like all my supplements, my tart cherry juice to promote recovery, colostrum, collagen, all of that type of stuff right on board right away. Usually about 6 eggs, like duck eggs and farm fresh eggs. So carbs and good fats and proteins. But the problem is with me training so much, and just for me personally, like I have to keep my meals really light because I am training throughout the day. Like whether or not maybe I'll lift that day and I'll have to lift again and I'll have to run again. So I need to keep it really light. Like I can't like smash pancakes and, drink a gallon of water as soon as I'm done because it's just, I'm too full. And then I'll go through my work day. I'll have, protein bar, a BPN field bar, some granola, stuff like that, work. And then like 4 Rice Krispies before my afternoon run. But then it's in the evening where I'm eating super healthy. And then like you said, but like during that 15, I'm eating whatever I want and utilizing whatever I want because I know like 15 miles is 1,500 calories and you're burning so much that like, and especially Coke, like the people that see me drink Coke so much, and especially Paul Johnson, who ran across America just recently, like he would smash Coca-Cola. But what a lot of people don't know is that the carbonation in the soda is actually easing on the stomach more for endurance athletes because we pack in so much food during races that like you can have that stomach acidity and the stomach ache, and the carbonation has been proven to help alleviate that stomach acid. And then aspartame as well is said to help with stomach aches. So that's why you see a lot of ultra runners drinking soda or drinking Coke. And it's also 52 grams of carbs for 1 can of Coke. And like, no matter how bad Coke is for you, how fucking good does it taste? like this morning, right? Like I ran down to my 7-Eleven. That is at mile 7.5. And I stopped at 7-Eleven and I smashed a Sprite. But like, I'm not like drinking a Sprite with dinner, you know what I mean? So, but like, eating these foods. So then moving into my afternoon, I'm doing, a pound of ground beef from like Primal Beef or a ribeye or chicken every now and then, but usually red meat to help really get the fats because fats is so high in calories. Avocado mixed in. Like I do a massive bowl. It's probably like it'd be disgusting to the normal viewer, like watching me eat this thing. It's a bowl of a pound of ground beef. Like I've been cooking in butter to try to get more calories. Probably 3 to 4 cups of rice. Like I'm miserable after I eat this. Yeah. I mean, I promise you, like I'm miserable. And maybe some zucchini for some micronutrients, and sometimes like some masa chips crunched up in there. Like there's probably like a 2,500 calorie bowl. And then my evening after that is like, that's my free game. Like peanut butter. I eat so much peanut butter. I go through a jar of peanut butter in 3 days.
Really?
Yeah. Because it's just, I mean, just think about like 2 tablespoons of peanut butter is 190 calories. 1 single spoon is usually like around 100 calories. So like I'll do like these protein balls and I'll just cake them in peanut butter. Fat and Weird Cookie is a recent sponsor of mine. Thank God, because they have the best cookies in the entire world. Yeah, okay. I totally forgot that we even talked about them. So these little cookies that you put in the freezer, and they're 550 to 600 calories a piece. You pop them in the microwave for like 45 seconds, and they're like stuffed. Every cookie's stuffed with something. So like I eat one of those every night as well. So you have the peanut butter, you have the cookies. Because truly, like, think about this. If I'm running 20 miles a day and I have a high RMR, which is resting metabolic rate, which means I'm burning a lot of calories per day just being alive because I work out so much. My metabolism's high. I'm burning probably 2,500 calories just being alive. And then on top of that, running 20 miles a day in the Austin heat, that's another 2,500. So just to hit maintenance, like I truly am eating around 5,000 calories a day.
Sure.
And these are good calories, like we just walked through the eggs and the avocado and the mango and the fruits and all of that. But like at some point, I remember literally I was in the cabinet last night and I'm looking around because I was so full, but I'm like, I haven't had enough calories. And I'm literally like I was like looking at maple syrup. I had pure maple syrup in there and I'm like,
drink it.
That's where I'm at, you know? So like when you see these ultra athletes just eating garbage, it's because garbage is high calorie. And at some point, you know, I walk the line of like I eat very healthy, but at some point, like in order to not hurt yourself or in order to be able to perform tomorrow, calories are calories. And, sometimes there's a hill that I'll die on, and there's, sometimes there's just things that need to be done. And, if that's drinking a gallon of maple syrup, it's drinking a gallon of maple syrup.
I appreciate the realness.
Yeah.
That's good. So you do all this training, the nutrition. October 1st, you get there, day one in El Paso. What does that look like? I know you're planning and prepping a lot for this.
Yeah.
Let's walk through the first day. I know you want to do it in 17 days?
Yeah.
Okay. What does the first day look like?
So let's go over logistics.
Yeah.
So we have a team that we've assembled. Obviously, I'm going to be the runner. Just need to clarify that. So you have the runner, and then Drew Darby is going to be our media lead. So Drew's going to be the guy on content. So anything that you're going to see that's going to be posted on Instagram is going to be completely done by Drew. He's going to have full access to the Instagram. And then we have Rob as the crew chief. So Rob crew chiefs Paul Johnson across America. So Rob is going to come in. Rob's also an athlete of Mike McKnight's, who is my coach. So Rob's going to crew chief. And then I have two crew members, Brett Ender, who is the CEO of Noble Protein, also one of my best friends here in Austin, and then Amanda. So we're going to have Rob, Brett, and Amanda as the crew, Drew as the creative lead. I'm going to be the runner, and then we're going to have American Dream Vacation Rentals of Austin has sponsored us an RV and a van.
Nice.
So huge shout out to them. So then we're going to have an RV and a van. So those four are going to be in the van with someone driving. And then we're going to have one more person. I think it's probably going to end up being my grandfather, who is now a retired doctor and wants probably out of the house in Iowa, come down to... Called me the other day and he's like, hey, if you need any help, I'm here for you. I was like, dude, you're in.
Yeah.
So I think my grandfather's going to come down. I have a friend, Abby, like we're going to figure it out. We need a driver. So what we're going to do is we're going to have Brett, Rob, and Amanda and Drew in the van behind me at all times. Mm-hmm. And then the driver is going to pop the RV to mile 25 because our goal is 50 miles a day. That gets us there in 17 days. So the driver pops the RV to 25, and then when we get to 25, we take a break, get in the RV, get cooled down, do everything we need to do to, continue on for the next 25. Then one of the crew members, Brett or Amanda, is going to hop in the RV, take time off, take like 5 hours off to work, whatever they need, and then cycle in with someone else. And then they're going to pop the RV to 50. That's going to be our stopping point for the night. Mm-hmm. So that's the gist of the logistics on how that's going to work. That way, it kind of gives everyone asking them to give us, to give me 17 days of their time. I want to be able to give them time off to where they can work remote and do what they need to do. So giving them that capability of driving that RV to 25 and 50 gives them about 4 hours off. But yes, day one, El Paso, Texas. We're going to arrive, I think, about 3 days prior. And then everyone that is on the crew has to be there 2 days before. So then 1 day before, we have that whole day to prep, get everything ready, and then we're off on the 1st. Yeah, that's kind of the start of, El Paso. I'm super excited for El Paso because there's running clubs. Run clubs have really picked up in El Paso like they have in Austin. And I just spoke with a guy the other day who told me that he believes, and I also interviewed with an El Paso news station, that we're going to have about 1,000 people.
Wow.
That know that we're coming there, and they are fucking fired up.
That's awesome.
Which, I mean, I might be thinking, I don't know, like, I'm not judging you, El Paso, but like, there's probably not a lot going on there. So like, they're super hyped for this to happen. But they sent me videos of these run clubs. Like, there's an all-female run club that, like, they messaged me, they're coming. There's another run club that I think is the largest one there, that they have 500 people that show up every week. Then you have all the females that are going to be coming. Then there's a couple other run clubs and just people from El Paso that have already reached out. Like we're looking at probably like at least 700 people. So 700 to 1,000 people. And the cool thing is that this guy that runs the run club is also a Texas State Trooper.
Oh, awesome.
So he's going to make the connections on helping us, figure out how the hell we're going to get 1,000 people to like run me out of El Paso. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the first 4 days are going to be in the middle of absolute nowhere. The first 4 days are going to be the hardest, which is great because for me, the first 4 days I think are going to be the easiest because, obviously the longer you go, the more tax you're going to get. Mm-hmm. So I'm glad that we're getting that out of the way because then it's like, we're going El Paso and then we're going into Midland, into Odessa, into Midland, into San Angelo. So it's like you always have these, like we're hitting these towns every day. So, to me, it's like to break it down, it's like, okay, like, we're going to Odessa today. We're going to Midland today. We're going to San Angelo today. We're going to Lano today. Today we're going to hit Austin. Yeah, so the first 4 days. The cool thing is that the highest, so it's 16,000 feet of gain over 850 miles. That is not a lot. That is, in relativity to other races, like that's flat.
Okay.
And like for comparison, I did the Leadville 100. Leadville over 100 miles is 12,000 feet over 100 miles. And that's not even, in relativity to other races, that's not even a lot. So it's not a lot of gain, but we do climb at mile 100. We do climb from like 0 feet sea level to 5,000 feet sea level into this national park. And then from that point on, it is literally all downhill from mile 100.
That's nice.
Now, like obviously rolling hills and, it's not downhill, but it is net downhill from mile like 120 to Galveston.
That's cool.
So Drew Darby's like, I can't wait to look at you at mile 100 and be like, hey brother, it's all downhill from here.
Sit in the van. Like,
yeah.
Come on, dude.
Yeah. Come on, man. It's all downhill from here. You're fine.
Yeah.
So
that's awesome. Like, especially the first day, having that support.
Yeah.
You're going to be fired up.
Yes.
Just like being there, starting it. But like, what about a couple days in, like Odessa to Midland?
Yeah.
When nobody's there, just your crew. You're running, you're a bunch of miles in. Like what's going through your mind?
I think the biggest thing is, keeping it fun and realizing like, if it doesn't happen in 17 days, it doesn't happen in 17 days. Like, and that's the biggest thing is you don't know what's going to happen to the body. Yeah. All I know is we are going from El Paso to Galveston, and when we get there, we get there. But in that process, like, yes, the sooner we get there, the better. But in that process, like, it's just remember that we're having fun and remember the reason. I think to me, it's like when shit does get hard, like we're doing it for the people that can't. Mm-hmm. And for the veterans that don't have the capability to do that. And for, the people out there that are sitting in wheelchairs, whether they're veterans or not, that are sitting in wheelchairs that would love to run, just remembering like we're able to do this. I'm able to run. And I think that's the biggest thing. And it's easier said than done, obviously, because I've been in those very dark places where you're like, fuck this. I want to quit. I'm out. I'm done. But, it's just remembering to have fun. Remember that like, I'm with my 3 best friends in the entire world, Drew, Amanda, Brett, and we are running across the state of Texas. Like this is something that I get to tell my children about in years, you know, that like dad ran across Texas. It's like, what? You know, like I've thought about that moment so many times to where, you know, you have, you know, like when I don't have kids yet, but you know, when they're 6, 7, 8 years old and you explain to them, you know, like that I ran across the entire state of Texas. Like, can you imagine the butterfly effect of having your child be able to go to school and he's in 1st or 2nd grade, 3rd grade, high school. And he's like, yeah, he's like, my dad ran across Texas.
Yeah.
Like, that's nuts, bro. Like, that is insane. And, you know, so just remembering the butterfly effect of, you know, that this single event could change the trajectory of my life, but how many lives is it going to change of veterans as well?
So many. And
it's like, it's just remember that.
Mm-hmm.
But the biggest thing also thinking about that is the run, like the run doesn't matter, right? I can't just go out and run 850 miles and money just magically fucking shows up.
Yeah.
It's about every single person that donates, every single person that cares. Like someone has to see this and be like, I care enough to donate to this cause. So it's really not even about me. It's about finding the person that wants to consume the content and that feels an emotional connection to want to support veterans. I'm not like, you know, these brands that are partnering with me, like we are donating that money, but outside of that, it's like I'm not taking $100,000 out of my bank account and just handing it to ValorFit. This is a combination of everyone. Mm-hmm. This is every single fucking dollar that is going into this, from the tiniest brand that chose to give $250 to the dollar donation that someone wants to make because they saw it happen.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's not about the miles, it's not about the run, it's about telling a good enough story that people want to tune in like it's a Netflix show. And it's like, if we can tell a good story and people want to tune in, that will make people want to help us help veterans.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot of fuel for you.
Yeah.
Like to keep you fired up even when it gets tough.
Yeah.
What are you listening to in these, like, let's say day 3, that second 25 miles? What are you listening to?
Yeah. A lot of things like when I, this might sound weird, but like this morning, you know, I was thinking a lot about the run across Texas, and I went back and I listened to, I have like YouTube Premium where you can like close your phone. I played the American flag video that we shot in Avalon on the 4th of July because I needed to listen to myself talk about it. And I don't know what I was feeling this morning, but I was just feeling something where like I needed to listen to myself talk about why I did that. And, you know, so listening to things like, you know, yeah, like I'm sure we'll be rolling down, you know, some country roads and listening to, you know, some country music. But like at times, like I need to listen to, like, I'm so glad that I have that video because I need to listen to myself talk about why I'm doing it, and hearing myself say that. There was just something like this morning I was listening to it and like I was getting emotional listening to myself talk about it. Mm-hmm. And, you know, so I think like there's things about, like, I've heard Goggins say multiple times that like when he's feeling really shitty, that like he'll record himself talking to his phone about how he feels, and then he'll play it back and he'll be like, wow, fuck that guy. Like, that's not me. Mm. For me, it's like, you know, almost the same thing, but like listening to myself talk about my why. Like, you know, where maybe I record something before we go and talk about, like, to remind myself, hearing your own voice say why you're doing something, there's something so powerful to that. And, you know, like I could sit here and I could tell you, I'm going to listen to Jocko and I'm going to listen to Goggins, I'm going to listen to this and that. But like, I think listening to something that I'm saying where like I'm reminding my own self, it's almost like a third body experience, like where I'm, you know, or an out of body, third person out of body, where I'm like listening to myself, telling myself like, remember why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really good. Is that what's going to keep you going later in the race? You're tired, you're sore, maybe you got a broken toe, and you're like thinking everything inside of me wants to give up right now. Pack up the van, go back to Austin. What is keeping you going in those long, hard days? Every
single person that is relying on me to get this done, to help, like the veteran that has no idea that they're going to find ValorFit in a year, and that their annual gym membership is going to be paid for because of what I did. Like that person that has no idea what the hell Valor Fit even is right now, but they're going to find them at some point within the next year. And what I did and what everyone did in this entire process is going to put them into a gym. Fitness is going to change their life. And then that's going to change the entire trajectory of their entire family's life because their life has changed.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's remembering, you know, in those hard moments, like remembering those people that it's going to affect, and keep remembering, like I've mentioned to you so many times already today since I walked in the door, the snowball effect, the butterfly effect, the effect of one single thing happening over and over and over again. Like, you know, moving this can right here this way can just put something into motion where it just starts going and going and going and growing and growing. It's to be something so little that it grows into something so huge. And I think it's remembering that, remembering why, remembering all the eyes that are on this, remembering the high school kid that follows me that is watching, just like I watched David Goggins and said, you know, when I first read his book, right? Like I was like, if to me it wasn't like, oh, like this guy's so hard, like I want to be hard like him. It wasn't that at all. It was the fact of this dude has had a piss poor life. He had a single mom, he had an abusive dad, me too, me too, me too. And it wasn't like comparing my struggles to him, but it was saying, if this man can do this, what the fuck is my excuse? And that was the part where, you know, people see Goggins and they're like, oh, he motivated me because he does these hard things. Goggins motivated me because of what he got through when he was a child, not now. Like I'm not motivated by his Moab 240 when he got second place. Like that doesn't motivate me. What motivated me was the fact of, like, you know, we had so many similarities growing up, and this dude became a Navy SEAL, wrote a book, and is now a multimillionaire. And I'm sitting there in 2020, and I'm like, what? Like, woe is me. Like I'm so upset at my life, and this sucks, and I want to get out of the military. And I'm like, this guy did all of these things. Why? What am I waiting for?
Yeah.
And that snowballed my own life. So for me, I want someone at some point to see my story and have the same exact thing that happened to me happen to them.
Mm-hmm. So good. And the support you have right now is incredible. I know it's just going to get bigger. We got 2 months to go.
Yep. 2 months tomorrow.
Yeah.
Which is insane because I remember making like the 100-day video where I was like 100 days. And then now I'm like, where did those 40 days go, dude? Like, that is the wildest thing for me to think of because I remember making that video and then it was 40 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
It's coming quick.
It is.
Yeah. And you could, I mean, you have a good following. You could just make a video and be like, hey guys, here's what I'm doing. Link in bio to donate. While you had that exposure already yourself and promoting yourself, you have so much support outside of you now.
Yeah.
Tell a story about Amanda buying cookies and how that has led to support.
So, so this is a little like long story. Let me see how I can chop this up. So I actually had found out about Fat and Weird cookies in 2019. And I had come across Aubrey, who, her and Brad, husband and wife, they own Fat and Weird cookies. I'd come across Aubrey, had found the cookies. I was like, oh, like, you know, there's this fit couple. Like, that was when I first was like getting into fitness. 2020 is when I really started like running. I was in the gym and I was like, oh, like I'm gonna try these cookies. I bought the cookies, I tried them. And then I saw like Brad was a veteran and followed him in 2019. And then kind of like that was it, right? So the other day, Amanda's in Avalon. And I was talking about like how I was just feeling really shitty and like I needed to eat more and I knew that was my problem. And she texts me and she's like, and mind you, like I had forgot all about Fat and Weird cookies. I don't remember them at all. And she texts me, she's like, hey, like I ordered something, it's sitting at the door. Okay. So I go in, I see these cookies and I'm like, cool, like this is great. Like I'm just in one of those moods and I just toss them in the fridge. And then I had to go to San Diego and I came back and they were there for like 5 days. I text Amanda, I'm like, are these cookies good? You know, yeah, they're still good. Okay, cool. So I pull them out and I try them and I'm like, man, like these are really good. So then I search Fat and Weird cookies on Instagram and then I see Brad and I'm like, man, like I recognize that guy. And I go to his Instagram and I was already following him. And then it all started like coming back to me of like 2019 of seeing the cookies of who he was. So I sent him a message and I'm like, hey man, I'm like, I love these cookies. Like they're phenomenal. And he's like, he messaged me back right away. He's like, dude, that's sick. He's like, I see that you're a vet. Like, I'm a vet as well. He's like, tell me about the run across Texas. So I told him about that, and he's like, let's hop on a call. I'm like, okay. So we hop on a call, and Fat and Weird, long story short here, Fat and Weird Cookies is going to become, is going to be one of our second largest sponsors for the run across Texas, as well as Brad connecting us with so many other brands that are now going to be involved in the run across Texas, all because Amanda DoorDashed cookies to the house.
That's insane.
So that was our first snowball story of like one single thing. So then I call Amanda and I tell her that story, and I'm like, all because you chose to order like $15 worth of cookies. I'm like, you now have a company that is coming on, you know, very largely in support of the run across Texas. Now think about how many lives you just changed by just ordering a cookie.
Yep.
That is
small thing.
That is the one small thing. It's like going to the coffee shop and saying hello to someone, and it can change their entire day.
Yeah.
And, you know, she decided to order these cookies, selected Fat and Weird. I have no idea why. Because, you know, why not Crumble? Why not, you know, Big Bear or whatever it's called? They chose Fat and Weird. And Brad's a vet, wants to be involved in Texas. And their like COO or somebody highly within the organization lives in Georgetown.
Really?
And he was on the call. Yeah. It works, man. It's God. It's
God's
God for
working.
sure. 100%.
Yeah. What other support do you have right now?
So, sponsoring like the title sponsor of Run Across Texas is going to be Dream Recovery, owned by Todd Anderson. They have a product that is coming out that we're going to be using. They have a product that we're going to use. So super excited for that. And then Human Improvement, Josh Campbell, who lives here in Austin, Human Improvement Nutrition Company. They're going to be part of it. Slate Milk, creatine gummies, creatine gummies. Eric Hinman has made so many introductions for us. Fat and Weird Cookies, Mount to Coast shoes. Goodness, just LSKD, blenders, sunglasses. LSKD is clothing. They're going to fit the entire team for the Run Across Texas. Primal Beef is going to feed the entire team for the Run Across Texas. And the cool thing is that all of these companies that are coming on for these type of donations, like if they're donating money to us, they're donating money to veterans. Like this is a complete nonprofit. Everything that we get is going to be donated back to veterans. So these are companies that are saying like, we support you, but we also support veterans. And to me, like that is it's huge. Jocko Fuel, like I have a call with them. We talked about that. I have a call with them today. They want to come on board. Just recently, I can't even name all of them because it's yesterday with the call with Brad is when it really started gaining traction. HyrdroJug is going to be involved. So right now, like as we're 2 months out, it's like, oh, okay, like, we're snowballing. So come September 1, I'll announce everybody that is going to be involved. But those are some of them right now. Noble Protein as well, with Brett being there. I'm so grateful, for these companies even companies, that have donated. Huron is body wash. Huron.
You're going to shower?
Yeah. I'm going to have to shower. And Amanda's going to be like, hey, you're going to shower. There's been so many companies that have donated money and then donated product and said, good luck. Like we don't expect anything. And, because to me, like I teared it out of like, you want to donate money to this, like I'm gonna assist you in doing reels and stories, and you wouldn't believe the amount of companies that have came on and just donated money and product and said best of luck, like whatever you can do sounds good.
Wow.
And so seeing other hearts of people that are running companies that are donating their money and their product, which is money times 2, to us. Is just, it's mind blowing.
I admire your selflessness. Like,
yeah.
Just doing this, such a incredible race, but like, you're not profiting from this.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to make some content, whatever, have good memories, but like the way you speak about it, you're like, I'm doing this for other people, so many other people.
Yeah.
So it's
I'm just, you know, I'm so blessed, you know, like I said, like, you know, I'm in a great position financially, you know, and, you know, for me, it was like, I don't know, you know, if it all goes away tomorrow, right? Or if it all goes away on October 17th, if all the money falls away, I'm okay until then. And, you know, I don't like I can pay my bills.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be all right. So for me, it's like, you know, I don't know if I'll ever get the chance again where I'm in the position to where like I can say like, hey, I don't need like I can do this big feat over 17 days and I don't need anyone to pay me to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, because there's so many people out there that work jobs who are probably just as elite as I am that can't afford to take time off work, you know, to do these things. Like I'm not this anomaly. Like there are others out there that you will never see because they're too busy, you know, doing other things, which is great. But, you know, I'm so grateful to be in the position that I am to be able to do this. Like I can't say that enough. Like I'm so blessed.
Mm-hmm. It's amazing. So the night of day 17, which it will be the 17th, because we have no doubt that you're going to get inside.
I know. My crew chief was like, "You really think it's going to take us 17 days?" And I'm like, "I love that you say that. I love that you say that."
So night 17, you have a celebration planned? Like what's going to happen then?
I don't know. I mean, you know, the biggest thing is, you know, I've never been to Galveston. I heard that the beaches aren't really the nicest. I don't know much about Galveston.
Are you running straight to the beach?
Yeah, so we're running to the Galveston Pier. So we're actually running to the beach, and then we're turning, and I made this choice, and I know I'm going to regret it, but we're getting to the beach, we're running like 4 miles north to hit the pier.
Okay.
So, you know, maybe we run 4 miles north. At that point, we're in Galveston, so who knows? But right now, I have it set to go to the Galveston Pier. But yeah, you know, I'm sure that there will be, you know, I'm sure that will be, you know, there'll be some type of event there. The big event that we're having is you know, coming through Austin. Hopefully, if we can plan it out right, I would like to end that day in the middle of Austin. Mm-hmm. And be able to, you know, do some type of event here. We're working with LSKD right now, and this isn't finalized yet, but we can talk about it, of doing a LSKD by Run Across Texas 5K, where people, and I'm going to be completely hands off this is going to be all on LSKD, where people can come in and donate money to run a 5K and get a t-shirt, get a medal, get whatever, and then LSKD donates that money to the Run Across Texas. Mm-hmm. So that's in talks. We actually have a call about that today, but we want to do some big type of event in Austin. But yeah, you know, going to Galveston, you know, that final day, you know, I mean, I can see it being, you know, very emotional, but I'm probably just going to really want a beer at that point. Yeah. Like give me maybe just one, like just give me one beer, maybe smoke a ciggy. I don't know, but
you deserve it.
At that point, you know, I've said this, you know, I have a lot of big things coming in the spring, but it's time for me to take some time off. Yeah. And, you know, I've been redlining my body and I've been taking care of myself very well, but like, you know, after October 17th, you know, it's time to I'm gonna put the phone down for a little bit and I'm gonna take some time, you know, especially probably through December, you know, take some time off. I'm going to take some time off running, take some time, let the body heal, go on a vacation. You know, we got Costa Rica with, you know, Made for More retreats. We got Costa Rica in November. So I'm going to go to Costa Rica and, you know, December, enjoy the holidays. Yeah. And then, you know, get right back to it in January for a big 2025.
Good for you. Yeah. One thing I want to touch on while I have you here is the whole topic of hybrid athletes. Such a trendy thing right now, and everybody's labeled themselves as a hybrid athlete because people go out and they run 3 miles a couple days a week. They strength train 2 or 3 times a week. It's like, you're not a hybrid athlete. You're just healthy.
You're an
like a functioning person.
You're an athlete.
Yeah. When I think about a hybrid athlete, I think about you. I think about Nick Bear, Luke, and all these people that are doing 100-mile races, but also like, yesterday you posted a video deadlifting 264% of your body weight.
Yeah.
Like that is different.
Yeah.
So What do you think about the whole hybrid athlete space right now?
Yeah, I mean, I think, I think that the term was coined in a, in a good way, but I think it's definitely like, it's being abused. To me, just being an athlete, like there are freaks, right? Like Nick Bear is a freak. Luke Hopkins is a freak.
Yep.
Where you're doing these, 100 milers and, Ironmans, and Nathan French is a freak. But here's the thing, like hybrid athlete, like it's a human word. Like it's just made up. Like if you go back fucking 40 years ago, there was people doing that who just called themselves athletes. And I'll tell you this right now, like I'm not a hybrid athlete. I'm an ultra marathoner. I'm an ultra runner.
Yeah.
Like I'm an ultra runner. Do I lift weights? Yeah. Like can I go pound out a high rocks? 100%. But my identity, like I will put my identity in the fact that I am an ultra marathoner. That is who I am. Like think about these guys that like play NFL, right? That are, in the National Football League. They can for sure go out and run track and swim and run a marathon, I bet. No, maybe not the offensive lineman, but they can do different things, but they're not hybrid athletes. They're fucking NFL football players. It's a touchy subject and people like to argue about it. And like, I'm not here to argue about it. I'm just saying like, you have an identity, like you don't need to, but you probably do. Outside of the freaks, right? Like I think about, this might fire some people up, but like I think the coined term here is like a muscle runner. Like these guys like Nick Bear and Luke Hopkins, they're freaks, right? But I think they're called hybrid athletes because they're so fucking aesthetic. Like they are 100% just like shredded to the core and very, very muscular and strong, and they can do these feats. But like when you look at me, I'm just this skinny kid that's like 5'7" that can somehow like I bench press like 155, which is like there's other dudes that are my weight that are doing 225, 250, 300. CJ Finley, CJ is literally is on his way to bench pressing 300 pounds and he's 155. Yeah. People have strengths, but like for me, it's like I feel like I'm not ripped. I don't have a bunch of muscle. Like I'm just like I have a six pack because I'm fucking skinny and I'm a runner. But to me, it's like I'm trying to represent those guys that are like, like it's okay to look normal. It's okay to like, the biggest thing for me is like I don't have a defined chest because I am a runner. I've never had a defined chest. And like on Instagram, like if I do something with like a close up of my chest, like people will be like, "Oh, dude, like you need to go hit the weights." Like, you ever heard of a chest day? A lot of how Instagram is. But to me, I'm like, I love that because like I'm just trying to show people like this is what a normal body looks like that runs 100+ miles a week. Yeah. And I feel like keying the term of hybrid athlete can sometimes be an unrealistic expectation for people when they want to be a hybrid athlete, because everyone that's using the term hybrid athlete, like they're very aesthetic. And to me, like I'm trying to show these people that like, am I a hybrid athlete? I guess, but I'm just a normal guy. Like I'm 5'7", 138 pounds. Yeah. I don't look a certain way, but I will fucking outperform you in everything.
Damn right.
Or I will die trying. And in that aspect, like I just want people to see me. Like that's why I am who I am on Instagram. Like I just want people to see me and be like, that guy's fucking normal. He's got a normal body. He does some freakish shit. That's cool. But like just showing them that like you can do this as well. You don't need to look a certain way to do anything. Yeah. That's where the hybrid athlete thing is messed up. Call yourself a hybrid athlete. That's fine. Like I'm A-okay with the hybrid athlete term, but like, I think it's just setting an unrealistic expectation of like the way you need to look in order to be like that because of the people that use it. That's okay. Like here's the thing, fucking it's just life. Like don't get so caught up in it. It's just life. You can call yourself a princess if you want. It doesn't even matter. Like whatever you want to be. Yeah. Some of my favorite posts that you make are like mirror selfie, like for reference, I'm 4'10", yeah. So I had a lot of people messaging me, like which is weird, but Instagram's a weird place, and they're like, always like I have so many messages like, how much do you weigh? What's your shoe size? How tall are you? And so so I just came up with this, and a lot of these guys that are the hybrid athletes are like, they'll do something and be like, I'm 6'1", 210. Mm-hmm. So I just So I just put on there, and I'm like 3'11", 217. And like anytime anyone asks me, like outside of like the real yesterday me deadlifting, like I was like I'm 5'7". But like anytime like I'm like I'm a 3'11", 3'11.
That's funny.
But I just play with it, like the big bean comment. Like have you seen that? Mm-hmm. Like and people play with it in my comment section, like, oh, the fastest bean I've ever seen. Like so like people comment wild shit all the time. Like someone told me that I was built like a AAA battery. Nice. That was on YouTube. That was a great one. But yeah, I mean that it's fun to me because like I love it when people say that, because just like I said, like I'm just trying to show like I'm just like I look like I'm just a normal dude. Mm-hmm. Like I'm not jacked. I'm not crazy. I'm not aesthetic. But like look what I can still do. You can too.
Sure. Yeah. Love that. Rapid fire. 3 more questions for you.
Yes.
First off, how do you define success?
I think you can. To me, like defining success, I feel like it can change every 24 hours. To me, being successful is being better than I was yesterday, right? Like comes down to this saying of, it comes down to the saying of using, like, if you win the day, you win the month, you win the year, you win the life. And it's like, if you win more days than you lose, you win the week. If you win more weeks than you lose, you win the year. Mm-hmm. You win more years than you lose, you win life. Mm-hmm. And to me, like being successful is just, just try to do something better than what you did yesterday. But I also don't want people to get so caught up in success, right? Because it's like success can look so many different ways. Like you can have success in the bank account, you can have success in your love life, you can have success in your fitness. Overall success is, are you happy? Are you happy with what you did yesterday? And if you're not happy with what you did yesterday, then try to do it a little different today and see if you're happy tomorrow. Happiness is, success comes from happiness, not the money in the bank account, not the deadlifts, not the miles. Success comes in the pure happiness, because I feel like I'm so successful. Like I am so proud of myself because I'm truly happy. Mm-hmm. I'm truly happy where I'm at. And to me, like, I'm successful now, and that it can be a roller coaster, right? Like something bad can happen and I'm not happy. And, then I need to find, what's the new success? Mm-hmm.
Amen. Love that.
Yeah.
What is something you agree with that most people disagree on?
I don't think that you need to be ready for anything. Like, I don't think that you need, I feel like people limit themselves way too much. I don't feel like you need, especially in fitness, I don't feel like you need, I have a lot of athletes that come to me that want coaching that they'll come to me and they'll be like, hey, I want to do a marathon in 6 months. Or no, I'm sorry, I want to do a half marathon in 6 months. And I'm like, you want to do a half marathon in 6 months? I'm like, how about like
tomorrow?
Like, yeah, I'm like, how about I have you ready for like a 50 miler in 6 months? Like, are you interested for an ultra? So like, I feel like, you don't need to be ready, and you don't need to have, you're so much more capable. You don't need to have a training block. So I think, for me, what most people think that you need to have the most perfect structure in the entire world to do something. And that's not just in fitness either. Like, that's in fitness, life, relationships, business. Like, to me, I'm very much a like I pull the trigger first, bang, like just go. And then if it doesn't work, we fail, we reevaluate, and we do it again.
Yeah.
And like, that's why, like, for a time there, like, I had so many 100-miler DNFs because like I was not ready. But I knew it's the same thing as, think about this, like, right? Like, most people, this is perfect. Most people, when they learn how to ride a bike, they have training wheels. Mm-hmm. And then you take one training wheel off, and then you have one, and you're trying to get it. Then you take the other one off, you crash the bike a couple times, then you finally learn how to ride the bike. I like to say, like, my experience in the ultra is like, I got on this fucking big ass Huffy, and I'm like, I'm gonna ramp this son of a bitch like through the ditch, and we ain't doing training wheels.
Yeah.
Like that is what I never had training wheels. I went all in. And so I think that's it. Is like, you don't always have to be ready. You don't always have to take the small steps first, and you can start at the top and maybe work your way down.
Yeah, figure a lot of stuff out. along the
Yes,
way.
100%.
Yeah, that's good. Last question. For someone listening to this that they want to be successful, they want to do the big race, they just don't know where to go, what advice would you leave that person with?
Can you rephrase the question?
Yeah.
Like they don't know where to go.
Yeah, they want to go down the path of being successful. They just don't know how to start or what action to take. What would you say to them?
Do whatever you feel in your heart. And for me, like that was moving to Austin. So like to me, like I just pulled the trigger and I moved away from home. I didn't know a single person. I didn't have anywhere to go. And I had a very minimal amount of money in the bank account and I was like, I'm going to make it work. So like, just like back to the question before, like you had to pull the trigger. If you feel it in your heart, it was put there for a reason. Go. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Like you don't have to have the picture perfect plan in order for it to happen. It's actually probably better to not have that much of a plan together, because then it allows for, it allows for some movement left and right to be able to, change directions in order to get to where you want to go.
Yeah.
But like if you feel it, just go, just do it. And if you want it bad enough, you will figure it out.
That's great. Well, Matt, it's been a pleasure. I'm so excited to watch you October 1st, see you at the finish line. Thank you for everything you do for the community nationwide now. So keep impacting others and keep working hard. Keep being funny too.
Absolutely, bro. I appreciate you.